Helper isn't just one of the friendliest cities in Utah, it's quickly becoming one of the most delicious. The secret to their sauce is definitely the people, including the husband and wife duo behind Helper Beer. Amy and Jaron moved to Helper to build community rooted in the essentials. Yeast, fermentation, family, friends, and of course, love. And they've done exactly that. Their pizza is some of the finest you'll taste anywhere in Utah, and their beers, second to none. In fact, they're garnering national awards left and right. Gold at the Great American Beer Festival for their German Pilsner, and just to brag on them a little, that's the most competitive lager category in the entire competition. Their German-style Helles lager earned Editor's Choice and a Top 20 Beer of the Year from Craft Beer and Brewing Magazine. Hop Culture named them one of the best breweries in 2025, and their Japanese rice lager among the year's best. And though the awards are fantastic, Helper Beer has quickly become a community beacon where family and friends can gather together to connect at this family-owned and run brew pub rooted in a commitment to Utah's finest hospitality and infusing intentionality in every inch of this location, where their own kids are growing up cooking and contributing to the fantastic flavors on the menu. So, whether you're a Saturday night regular or just passing through, we're discovering why enjoying a meal at Helper Beer kind of feels like the food and beverage equivalent of a giant hug. This week on Taste Utah.
It's so fun to be sitting down here at Helper Beer. It's perfectly located and sort of central on your way to adventure, on your way back from an adventure, but it's like a do not miss dining destination that you don't want to drive past.
Aw, thank you.
How did you meet?
We lived like 2 blocks away from each other for a couple of years before we somehow met at like a show at the Urban Lounge one night.
Classic story.
I love
Met
it.
at a
Urban
bar.
Lounge is so fun. It's a bar, but also like, you know, shows
Great
and music.
venue.
Yeah, absolutely. What were you doing up there?
I was, bussing tables at Red Rock Brewery.
Okay.
I worked at Big Ed's, if anyone remembers that
I love
old place.
Big Ed's by the University of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends, he came down here to do a painting internship with David Dornan, who's one of the original artists that kind of came to Helper in the mid-90s and bought a building downtown. And he used to own this building, actually.
Oh, no way.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend Charles, he came down here. He was only supposed to be here a year doing that internship, and he never left. And so that's kind of how we ended up here, because we'd come down and visit. And we were leaving, and I was like, I could live here, And then she was like, but we'd have to start a brewery. And I was like, that'll never happen. But here we are,
I mean, that's amazing. That's such a cool origin story.
Growing up, I was mystified by the idea of fermentation. My brother's best friend was like a home brewer way back in the 90s, and I always thought that was real interesting. And then I was always like, there's breweries in Utah? Like crazy, And then, when I moved to Salt Lake, I luckily got a job bussing tables at Red Rock Brewery, and every time a new beer would come up on draft, I'd try it, and I would talk to the brewers about it. And eventually, it got to the point where I was bugging Kevin Templin to give me a job in the brewery. After me bugging him for about 1.5 years, he finally gave me a job putting labels on bottles, like one by one, with like a hand crank labeler. And after a couple years, all of a sudden I was making beer, and the rest is history. After that, Kevin Templin went on to start Templin Family Brewing, and I worked there with him for the first 4 years.
Oh, you did?
But we had moved here, like she said, in 2018, so I was like kind of commuting up there to work, which is a difficult 4 years of doing that.
That's brutal.
We knew that if we were going to make world-class beer, we had to also have world-class pizza.
Yes.
And I think over time, like Amy's dialed in her process, and
We're really proud of it.
yeah, it's really good.
It's
Like,
a small menu, but we just want to keep it simple.
When it's so good and it's just simple ingredients that you're putting your own spin on, just sort of coaxing a little bit to get them to be what you need them to be. You don't need to do a lot to it.
And we just really want to focus on whole health. I mean, pizza, healthy or not, but all the ingredients we use are as fresh and healthy as they can be.
I'm just curious as to like what that cultivation process looked like for you.
I don't want to do anything halfway, you know? If I'm gonna do it, I really want to do my best. So we just kept rolling with our recipe that we had from home.
Okay.
And it's turned into like, we do a bulk fermentation, cold fermentation for about 3 days.
Wow.
And then that's, I think, where the flavor really develops. Mm-hmm. And then we weigh and roll it, and then it sits for another day, and then we're ready to use it. We have such little waste here, and I like to keep it that way. We do donate some of our spent grain to the farmers. We have a pig farmer that picks that up. And then, of course, anyone's welcome to take some of our food scraps for their chickens, and we feed it to our chickens at home.
I love it. Will you tell us what we have on the table in front of us, and maybe some sleeper secrets that you didn't put on the table?
So we did this one's our gluten-free crust.
Okay.
It's super popular.
Okay.
And most people are like, wow, this is gluten-free. I didn't think so.
And what do you use to make it gluten-free?
So-
You don't have to give us the secrets to your sauce, but just like...
Oh, we can tell you.
I don't mind.
look at that.
So Caputo Flour Company in Italy, they created one called Fiore Glutes. So it's a gluten-free flour blend.
Okay.
It is not the easiest to work with. It's a very sticky dough, but you use a lot of olive oil to create the color.
Beautiful.
And it needs a bit of sugar in there, just a little bit to give something for the yeast to eat, because it's just very starchy.
You could tell, I would be like tricked.
I wouldn't know.
that
Yeah.
100% wouldn't know. It's so good.
In fact, I eat it all the time anyway, just because I like it.
Yeah.
And then I chose, one of our most popular ones are pineapple jalapeno. We did the vegan cheese with it. We have like a dairy-free cashew-based soy-free cheese that we use for anyone that's dairy-free.
That's amazing.
It's a liquid mozzarella. Oh, and it has, of course, our Teleschi sauce, which is kind of like our version of hot honey. It's a sriracha maple syrup. And then one of our other popular ones are prosciutto.
Okay.
It's a garlic cream sauce. We do a roasted mushroom. We like cook it down till it's really dry, and then deglaze the pan with coconut aminos.
Okay.
Just to give it a little more umami.
Yeah.
And then prosciutto and red onion and some fresh mozzarella.
I love that.
Classic burrata. Everybody loves that one. Some marinated olives.
I love
Those
that.
are really tasty. Oh, and the last one,
please,
the
yeah.
prosciutto sandwich. Just prosciutto, fresh mozzarella, tomato, pepperoni, arugula, and then our house pepper relish. It's
I
just
love
like a pepperoni, hot cherry pepper, garlic, and bell pepper.
So you're making this
relish.
in-house?
Yes.
We don't have like a flat top or a deep fryer or anything like that, so
That's
all
what
of
we
the
cook everything.
like the bread gets made in the oven, but also we roast the veggies, and you know we have a pizza that with chicken bacon ranch pizza, which is kind of a indulgent thing.
It's a
but,
naughty pizza. I love it.
But you know, we cook the bacon in the pizza. You know, the oven is not just for pizzas.
No, I mean, that's the nice thing, right? Cooking by that nice open flame, it also imparts different layers of not only texture, where you get like sort of this beautiful, almost like burnt ends in a way, but it really just adds depth of flavor. But then you do get that smoky essence, and you do get what sort of gets imparted by using a raw flame to cook.
Sure.
One of the key takeaways of this space here, and it always has been since I've started coming, is like you're growing culture, but you're growing culture with community, so creating a family-friendly space that actually highlights a lot of what is so special about Helper.
Well, and that's a big reason why we were attracted to come to Helper, is because, you know, living in a bigger city like Salt Lake, you're just kind of a citizen, but we wanted to be like members of the community, and it's been really cool to see a lot of that, like people come here to like, it's like a pub, like in the neighborhood, like people gather here, meet their friends, and it's like exactly what we always wanted, you know what I mean?
Helper is known for celebrating arts and culture, and Helper Beer is a hub for cultivating culture and cultures. You see, fermentation is their canvas, whether it's their pizza dough or their beer. And every ingredient is the paint on their palate. That's actually exactly what they're up to, painting our palates with their ingredient-driven menu.
This is Japanese rice lager. This one's been really popular. We came out with it earlier this year.
Okay.
It's made with barley, and probably about 20% of the recipe is rice.
Okay.
I had this idea for this recipe like years and years ago when I discovered a peppercorn called sansho. It comes from Japan. It's related to the Szechuan peppercorn. It's a little more citrusy and maybe floral and a little less like spicy than a Szechuan. And I was like, ooh, that would be really good for beer. And I decided, let's put it in probably one of the most hardest beers to make, like a light lager beer, because you can't really hide behind any technical flaws if there are some. And try and be real light-handed with adding it to the beer. So what I do is I'll put it in there and let it steep when the beer is kind of finishing its boil. I'll cool the wort down a little bit to like 180 degrees, which is a good temperature for like tea or something.
Okay.
And I let those peppercorns steep in there for like a half an hour, and then I cool the rest of the beer down into the fermenter. And then after primary fermentation, I infuse it with sencha green tea, so it gives it another layer of flavor that's also kind of from an ingredient from Japan. And it's part of like a collection of lager beers that we're doing that are kind of internationally based. You know, we have what's called an Italian Pilsner. I've done a Danish Pilsner in the past.
Nice.
We've got a Mexican lager available right now.
And then our classic Schlosser German
Pilsner is one of our biggest sellers. So,
I mean, one of the questions, like right away when you were describing this beer, when you taste things, do you taste them like through a beer lens? Like, it really is fascinating, because even to hear like, oh, I taste that pepper.
I mean, I can't even drink a glass of water without like smelling it and like.
I mean, that's what beer is, mostly water, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And that's another reason Helper we love. Their water, delicious.
Helper's water supply is, it's on its own municipal water source that's a spring that's like kind of at the top of the mountain.
Wow.
Why I like it is because it's not going to change from day to day a whole lot, you know, and that creates a very consistent product.
Yeah.
And also, I think it lends to our, you know, kind of house flavor or whatever a little bit. It's because it's a unique water profile.
To know that like that is an intentional product in your beer, not just something that's being used to get the flavor, you know, to extract flavor profiles from grain and hops. I just like, that's kind of noteworthy, I think. Yeah,
well, that was like my first question when we first kind of decided, like, hey, let's build this brewery. What's the water like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, got it so awesome. Tested and like what we saw. I mean, other breweries, they'll start with RO water, and then they'll add their salts and minerals to get the flavor profile that they want. Yeah. And it can change depending on the beer. But we're happy with what we have.
I like it.
Treat it very, very little.
We've got our West Coast IPA called Circleback.
That one's in the liquor stores.
Yeah, you can get those at the DABS stores all over the state. And we have one more called Slow Fade that's in the state liquor stores, and that one's kind of an imperial tart ale.
It's super interesting because it has this like grapefruity citrus flavor, and it's all just from the yeast he uses.
Yeah.
That's so unique.
So this one produces pineapple esters that are like flavor and aroma, and it's crazy how much it smells like fresh cut pineapple. And a lot of people will drink that beer and be like, what fruit is in this beer? I'm like, none, it's just all yeast driven. And then I'll dry hop it with hops that kind of also lend to some of like coconut flavors and pineapple. So I'm trying to like get this, evoke like a pina colada or something.
That's cool with the beer.
It kind of works, it works.
That's awesome.
Anyway, we also have this lime goes, which is kind of a tart sour ale, but with salt in it, and then we use fresh lime zest. We have this one called Mindset Extra Pale Ale. I
love it.
And that's just kind of like a lower ABV, almost like an IPA. It drinks like a really light, easy drinking IPA, but it's only 5%, you know, which is nice because then you could have a couple and not.
Yeah, which is so interesting because for a while there it was like with the like double IPAs and it was like how high can we get the alcohol content, 9%, 12%. And so it really is fun to see how people are connecting with beer and you can't hide behind low you know, ABV.
Right.
Utah's been doing low ABV for so long that a lot of other breweries in the nation come learn.
Isn't that so funny? Because it was such a big deal when it was like, we need higher ABV. But many of the brewers that I talked to would say that, like, well, it makes for a better craft beer because lower ABV, kind of to your point of the lighter rice beer, is there's not a lot to hide behind. You really have to dial in your flavors.
Right.
And even like the visuals of it. So you also offer here, we just here in the brewery, for people who maybe don't indulge in adult libation, but you have Hans Kombucha. We featured them last season of Taste Utah.
Yeah, they're great. Oh yeah.
And learning about sort of their brewing process, you know, like the fermentation. It's really, really incredible. Either way, whether you're growing yeast or you're growing SCOBY, like it really is the same thing. Even when you were talking about the gluten-free bread, like giving these something to eat, because that really is what fermentation is, right?
The health of the yeast is paramount. You'll get terrible flavors if you don't treat it kindly.
Yeah.
We're back at Helper Beer, talking shop about the intention behind some of the best pizza, beer, and effervescent vibes you'll find pretty much anywhere in Utah.
We source grain from all over the world. Like if we're gonna make a German Pilsner, I use German malt and German hops, right? Like our German Pilsner is malt from a company called Weyermann that's been making malt in Bamberg, Germany since like the late 1800s, you know?
It's like sourcing Caputo flour, like why wouldn't
Exactly.
you? Yeah, totally.
It really helps give it, like, make it what it is, you know? Like those German malts tend to have a more bready, biscuity kind of flavor profile, whereas the American malts are just kind of cleaner, and they're really great for like IPAs and stuff because the malt kind of gets out of the way and lets the hops kind of do the talk.
Oftentimes when we're bringing in these different products from different countries, it's not to say that we couldn't get something like that here in the United States, but it's also really important for us to be able to source internationally so that we can bring those authentic German flavors to Helper Utah.
Sure. Yeah, and we've had, you know, German people come in here and be like, this is everybody as good as the beer you get in Germany.
I love that.
That for me is like super, super flattering. So I'm like, Germans are really fastidious at their beer making, and they don't mess around. And so to have somebody say that, it's like a big compliment.
The intentionality of everything that you're doing, the recipe creation. I want to know how you name your beers.
We have, of course, a master list of random beer names that we write down.
Okay.
That'd be a good beer name. But a lot of them are sort of like poking fun at business talk.
Like, you know,
business
like-
lingo.
Oh, I love it. Circle back, like you
Yeah.
made a circle back beer.
One of our business partners he just lives in that world.
Yeah.
And so I'm basically making fun of him, actually.
Yeah, and
We love your
probably
talk.
like gives him like a little bit of levity in working in the corporate world, because it is a lot, you know. Like I feel like now you need like an open office, you know, IPA
Oh,
or something.
I've got a whole list of
That's so fun. Okay, the mindset, I was like, you know, that's a psychological term, so it's like,
Sure.
but it's everywhere right now. So it's like, ooh, mindset. What I'm really also very inspired by is how well the two of you work together. It's clear that you have also this passion for beer and obviously the food, and you're very humble about how good it is and the process of how that came about. But the one thing that I can really taste in both of these products is the love. But like, I also feel like your like love and respect for each other, as well as like that translating in what you're putting into the ingredients of the food in front of us, which is like very, very special.
Well, he's the best and always helps me out even when I'm dying.
Well, yeah, like
if sometimes the cook might call off and he'll jump on the oven. He knows how to run it.
You randomly, you'll see me pulling pizzas in and out of the oven,
And then I help him can.
yeah, when we're canning, like she'll come and help for a few hours, and in reality, like I try and stay on the brew house side, and
I'm over here, so
we'll
cross paths. But
she does a lot of the administrative stuff as well, and which I'm thankful for, because that's like not my passion.
mine either.
But
Necessity, but you'll step in.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
love it.
I always say she's the one really running the show, because she does everything, you know?
Yeah.
If I keep juggling, if I teach her how to make beer, then I will be completely useless. So,
What are the two of you most proud of?
we said we were gonna do it, and then following through on what we said we were gonna do. I was like, maybe I'm just too stubborn to give up, but like, we could have given up, you know? But chasing that dream in this place and actually making it happen is like pretty cool, you know? It is super satisfying to see people come in and like taste the pizza, and like you can see it like change their whole demeanor, you know, or drink the beer and like go like, oh, you know, like I love that. That's what keeps me going, and like that's why we're doing this, you know.
I love it. Where can people get your beer if they're not in Helper?
Well, at the DABS stores, and then we also, there's a couple markets in Salt Lake, like Caputo's carries a bunch of our 5% beers. Salt and Hops up in Ogden, Central 9th, their deli or market, centralized market, which those guys are doing amazing things over there.
And then
a bunch of bars and restaurants, like all the craft beer, kind of like Beer Bar, Bayou, Beer Hive, East Liberty Tap House, you know.
Oh, Dick and Dixie's always.
Dick and Dixie's has a lot of our beers.
Yeah.
You can find us.
Yeah, be on the lookout.
We're at Slackwater too.
Okay, yeah, cool, awesome. Well, yeah, thank you again. Thanks for having us, and this is like amazing. We're gonna need some boxes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hang
of
on
course.
the wall because they're that pretty.